Hey, how you doing? Pretty windy day here today, so I hope you can hear this video. Beautiful morning though. This one is a sad comment. It's something that we got yesterday. Joe Gilbody said that my kid brother had it. I'm not sure what he was talking about here. Probably either alcoholism or he was drinking too much anyway. Last February the 5th, last year, in minus 25 degrees or 25, I'm not sure what he meant by that. He fell asleep anyway and he froze to death. And he went on to say that it was one of 10 kids that he tried to help, but that we all tried to help, he said, and they didn't want the help. You know, this thing affects so many different people. It affects so many different families. It affects friendships. It affects communities. You know, there's a lot of stuff that we do while we're drunk that is just borderline crazy, you know. That kid brother thing, you know, when I read that, you know, broke my heart. It's just one of those words. I've got 4 brothers, 3 of them are younger than me. So I understand that, looking after my brothers and trying to see that they're right, you know. It's just anybody before their time. Everybody who dies from alcohol, all alcohol deaths are before their time, and they're completely avoidable. Doesn't have to happen, all this shit, right? You know, it's funny enough, below that, I mean, I get my comments in a kind of a row, and it's different videos. It's the comments are presented to me depending on when they were posted. And right below that there was a comment that said, I look at my brother and I see what it looks like, and I've nearly drunk myself to death, so I know what it feels like. So there's a family that is being literally destroyed. You know, we look at statistics and we can see, you know, 3.5 million people a year die worldwide through the consequences of alcohol, over 200 health conditions. God knows how many years people lose in their lives because of alcohol, right? But these are just statistics. You know, it comes down to when you see the reality of it, and there's nobody that doesn't have somebody in their family or their friends or wherever they know somebody that's succumbed to this poison, right? You know, this shit kills families. It destroys families. It destroys communities. It destroys countries. You know, I mean, you know, think about how far ahead your own country would be, your own community would be, if it wasn't for all the time lost, all the poison that people put into their bodies. You don't need it. You know, I've had a personal loss in my own family because of this poison. I can name 10 people at least before I stopped drinking alcohol who also died from this poison, and a lot more since I've started coaching. You know, I mean, you can understand that in 10 years you hear a lot of tragic stories. You know, I hear tragedy all the time. So, you know, who hasn't done something really fucking stupid that could have got you killed, right? I remember in Germany cycling along, pissed out of my head, and I fell into a ditch and fell asleep in a ditch, and I got drowned in a ditch. There was no water in it, and it was summertime, so I didn't freeze to death, but I still fell asleep. You know, 3 or 4 hours later, my brother's waking me up saying, what the fuck? I remember standing on a ferry when I was in my teens, and crossing the Irish Sea, you know, a 4-hour journey, standing on a ferry, pissed out my head, holding a pint up in the air, thinking it was great. And I could have fallen into that sea and nobody would have known the fucking difference. So I had a guardian angel or something looking after me that night. And it was funny because, you know, 6 months later, a friend of ours from across the road, where we were living, gone to Spain on holidays, did exactly the same thing, stood up on a railing, but this time it was 6 floors up on an apartment building in Spain, fell down, slipped. That's it, gone. So, you know, same bullshit. Just thinking, yeah, you're immune to all this stuff while you're pissed. Killed. And, you know, what he said at the end there, that comment that we tried to help so many different people, it's a killer for anyone watching anybody else. You see the train wreck happening in slow motion and there's fuck all you can do about it if the person doesn't want to be helped, if the person doesn't want to listen. You know, it's all fun and games until tragedy strikes. So what can you do, right? You know, you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. You have to show by example. Not only what, you know, that you can stop drinking alcohol, that's something, but also to show people that you don't need alcohol. You don't need to live your life with any drug. That life itself is great without any drug. And the problem is, one of the biggest obstacles that I see with people is that, especially younger people, is they can't see a clear-cut way of getting out of it. They can't see that there is an alternative, that there's something different, that there's a different way of looking at life, right? Because nobody around them is fucking showing them. So you have to be that person, right? You know, if you're a father or a mother, you have to be that person for your kids. The person who doesn't drink, who says, I'm refusing to drink, I'm not drinking, right? I'm going to live my life without alcohol. I'm going to do my best to live the best life that I can live. That's the best message that you can send. You know, if you're an older brother or sister, if you're a younger brother and you want to help your older brother or sister, right, then it's the same thing. The best messages I get from people are people that say something that I said in one of my videos has helped them to stop for, right? Something that they heard here in one of these videos, right? That's the best message I've ever heard. They're the best types of messages. You never know what is going to impact somebody. So it's nothing that you can, you know, if I could bottle up a saying, or I could say that this is what you say or that's what you say, that's not the point. It's acting and doing, because people will see different things. You know, people are impacted by different things in life. So, you know, everything you do has an influence. If you use alcohol, that's going to influence people to follow your footsteps. It's going to influence some people. If you don't use alcohol, that's also going to influence some people to follow your footsteps, right? You know, you have to decide what difference you want to make in the world, right? I'll leave you with a comment, something that Margaret Mead said. She was a famous anthropologist, and she said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." So if you want to see a change in the world around you, be that change yourself. All right, take care of yourself. Let me know if you have any comments, if you got any questions, if you got any stories, if you want anything that you want to see covered in any of the videos, let me know below. Give us a subscribe if you got, you know, if you found something in the video, if you think that we've earned your subscription, then I'd really appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Onwards and upwards, eh? Bye now.